We are so excited. This is just, you guys, filling my heart so big, so much. And Anza, if you have put the poll there for John, I know we've got a few questions, and this is about leadership mindset. So it's the challenge of what is challenging what is challenging you the most about your leadership mindset. What is your level of experience, right? So how much experience do you have? We've talked to Ryan and David and now John. And so what's your experience been as a leadership role? And then what can you do right now to improve your leadership mindset? So those are challenges. Think about, journal, write these down. If you don't have your VIP book, it's okay. Just write down some notes and all the things that we just talked about. It will help you improve your life. That's what we're here to do today. All right, Joe, our producer here on the back end, we are going to hear next from Dennis LaRue Jr. Can you help us with that?
I'm Dennis LaRue Jr., the founder of an executive coaching company called LDR, Leaders Develop Relationships. And I believe the heart of leadership is loving people. So join me in the VIP room to learn more about loving people and also how to change your world through loving people, because you have a heart of leadership. I'll see you in the VIP room.
Our next everyday leader is Nadene Joy, who is a top global advisor, executive leadership strategist, and business life coach who helps leaders and aspiring leaders who are feeling stuck, frustrated, overwhelmed, or alone achieve their limitless goals. Nadene has coached thousands of leaders globally and is passionate about serving others, being an impactful servant leader, humanitarian, mother to 4 beautiful children, and friend who makes a positive difference in our world. Let's give a warm welcome to my friend and everyday leader, Nadene Joy. Yay! Nadene, how are you today? Can you hear us? Okay, we're having a little audio, Joe.
Nadene, I may have you sign back in to the green room again, and that seems to be fixing the problem today.
Pop out and sign back in. Just use the link again. Can she? Okay, there we go. So Nadene Joy, you guys, I met Nadene. I will tell you this real quick as we're waiting for her to pop back in. On LinkedIn, right? We talk about LinkedIn and all these relationships, and people say, I know, Jose Escobar, if you're still on here, you have been challenged to get on LinkedIn because these are amazing people. So Nadene Joy, I interviewed her in Everyday Leaders, and she wrote this book called Love Is. And we're going to talk about so many things, but here she is back. Joe, I see her here in the green room. Can you hear me, Nadene?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yay!
Okay.
Yes, that worked. I think that's the link, right? So it's all the timing of this. Thank you for joining us and spending time and hanging in the Zoom line and hanging here with us. We're a little bit behind today, yet we're not letting that stop us, because this is a power train. This is a power train of heart-filled, centered leaders. And so thank you for taking time to join us.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's truly an honor and a pleasure, Melanie, to be here today.
This is just, your story is really about making change from within. And we're going to hear from a couple of other leaders later about forgiveness. And I really brought you into this whole seminar today because I know that what you do, what you stand for matters, of how we describe what love looks like in our life. And you wrote this phenomenal book about it. So I want you to help people understand, like, if you have beliefs about love, what are the things that we can think about today to change our beliefs?
Wow, what a powerful topic to start out talking about love. And even going back to you mentioning the book, I never dreamed that I would actually publish the book. I actually started the book, and I think this goes back to even beliefs around love, because I wanted to pass on a legacy to my 4 kids and teach them everything that I knew, that I've learned from working with clients around the world about love and relationships and things, the difficult things, right? The real things about love, and how we can actually, as leaders, step into more of this loving place from our heart in every interaction we have, whether it's speaking, whether it's, actions that we do, like John was just saying, and all these other amazing speakers prior. Just how can we really become more of a better leader through what we do and how we show up in the world? As far as belief systems go about love, there's so many that you could go back and think about. Even when, even just everybody that's listening here, just take a moment to think about, what was it like as a child, growing up as a child in your home. And I can say from the people that I've talked to and interviewed, all the way from in the book, we did a study, and being a scientist, being a geologist for 10 years, I worked in corporate, worked my way up the corporate ladder, all these things that I thought I was going to do that was going to make me happy, and checked off all these boxes by the time I was 25 years old, and literally was not fulfilled whatsoever in my heart space and my purpose. Like John was just mentioning, your purpose is so important at what we do as leaders. And to know that you're showing up each day, even in a corporation, knowing that you're making a difference is a huge step forward for that. So as far as beliefs go, most of them are stemmed, from childhood when we grow up and around love, or, even more so prominent is the lack of love that we didn't receive, that we felt like we really needed on a deep soul level. And I just wanted to, again, invite everybody just to take a moment, just take a minute to think about, what was it like in your house growing up with your parents, with your caregivers, whoever whoever that was for you, and really taking a step back and think about, did you, and I know for me, I can relate to this very strongly because my father wasn't around. I didn't have that love from my father, even though he told me he loved me. He wasn't physically there to show me that he loved me, and the actions weren't there. That we're talking today so much about leaders. It's great to have these visions. It's great to have, this purpose that's fulfilling, but what are the actions that we can take? And this is a perfect example of my own life with my father. Even though he said, I love you, his physical absence in my life showed me and made me feel like I was not worthy of love. And that's one of the greatest belief systems. I've done much research on this topic and belief systems over the years is actually, I'm not good enough, right? I'm not good enough and I'm not worthy of love are one of the two greatest, belief systems out there that paralyze us in our tracks from really stepping into our potential as leaders. And what really God calls us here for, to do the very best we can with the resources that we have at the time, with the people that we're surrounded with, and importance even of surrounding yourself with great people. I know it's not really the topic of love, but when you're surrounded by loving people who are, intelligent and kind and who want to give back, who are, philanthropists and take action and making that difference, you're inspired to do the same. So going back, the not being good enough and also not worthy of love, I would say, are the two greatest belief systems out there. And how do we as, leaders in society, leaders of organizations, leaders of corporations, how do we, not only bring that into our organization, but show up ourselves first and show up in showing other people that we've done the work, because we can never, help other people unless we've helped ourselves first. So, thinking and first of all, I always say, this is something I've told my clients, and it's been proven over and over again, is, take inventory of your thoughts. Get a journal out, whether it's on your phone, on your notes, or, grab a physical journal and write it down for 24 hours. And I say a minimum of 24 hours, 24 to 72 hours, and just take note of the thoughts that you're thinking over those, everything you're thinking that has to do with yourself or anybody else that might be, quote unquote, positive or negative. And I don't necessarily even believe anymore in good or bad, because the most, bad moments or negative moments that society would portray in my life turned out to be my greatest blessings and the things that I needed to learn most that I can help other people with. So I don't even believe anymore in the good or bad, or, the duality of our society and how our society looks at, being good or bad, or, doing these certain things in a certain way, that it's, do what's right for you and what you feel is aligned with your heart and your mission and your purpose, because we're all different and God made us so different. We're so unique that we have these gifts that are only ours, that we have to share, that if you're not using your gifts to your full capacity, as Les Brown says all the time, the greatness that's inside of you is waiting to be unleashed in the world. And it's like, when you don't unleash that potential from your heart and speak that truth into the world, you're really limiting and lacking other people in their ability to grow by you doing it yourself. So again, going back to the exercise, writing down for 24 to 40, 48, 72 hours, whatever you're guided to, writing down those thoughts, good or bad about yourself or anybody else. And at the end of the, again, whatever time frame you choose, going back and writing and beside each one. And then just simply observing, because our first step to change is always awareness. So how can we create a greater awareness? Because I have a story actually. So when you have an awareness of something, you notice it more. Perfect example. Kids, when we had our third child, I was always a proponent that I never wanted to own a minivan, and it was one of these things that, okay, we looked at 10 different vehicles and decided, you know what, okay, we'll suck it up, get a minivan, even though it's not necessarily my first choice. And the second we bought, there's a white Toyota Sienna minivan. That's the vehicle that we drive. And literally as soon as I never had seen any of these vehicles, but as soon as we bought the vehicle and you had this sense of awareness, you start noticing it everywhere. And I noticed it everywhere I go. I was like, whoa, there's so many of these minivans all over the place. I had never noticed all these before. And this is the same thing with love, right? The same thing with noticing your thoughts and paying attention to what you're thinking. As soon as you're aware of that, you can know exactly what to focus on, what not to focus on, what lifts you, brings you joy, brings greater joy, fulfillment, the whole idea of constructive versus destructive emotions. And just by noticing that with no judgment, no criticism, simply just like you're observing it from an airplane view down upon your life as you wrote that. And it literally, I've seen it over and over and over again, thousands of times with people. Just doing that alone will transform your heart, your mind, your body, your soul into a leader that is focused on love simply through awareness.
Yes, I have to bring my hearts in here. I love this. Here's the thing. I think about when you're saying this, we've got a chat here on Zoom that says the most negative in my life put me on a very positive path. And I think when you start to realize that, right, that's the level of awareness that you say, well, am I doing the things that are affecting other people because my beliefs they're so wrong. Like I don't really love myself. And we talk about this every day on my Bible study. Like if you don't love yourself, you can't love your neighbor. You can say, I'm following the laws that I believe in or my faith, yet it really does come back to what you believe. And so if you've been challenged with things in your life, the way that you were raised, or you don't feel like you had enough, right? We're going to talk to Lachelle Adkins here in just a minute. She has 15 kids. Making sure that each one of those feel loved. Sometimes it's not the parents that can do everything. It's you have to own your own journey. And I think a lot of people, even we get into a late adulthood and we say, well, I was never loved the way that I wanted to be. Yet it's our responsibility, right? That's the thing. It's our responsibility to learn what we need, what that looks like, so that we can then develop that. And that's the key that I keep seeing in so many people try to put that off on someone else. And it's really important. So anyway, thank you for sharing all of that and allowing me to kind of hop in there, because it's really critical. The people that are watching this right now, I just want to ask you, we have a poll that Anza will put up here, and we're talking about heart-centered love questions. And so, what does your environment of love look like to you? So what does that look like? Can you take ownership in that process of gaining more love in your life? And then what areas can you improve, right? With your heart first. What are the areas that you're struggling with to really identify, do I have enough love? Can I gain more love? What would be the action steps to gain more love for your life? Because it feels different, doesn't it, Nadene? When you accept that, when you understand that it's your responsibility, it changes you.
It does. It really does. From like everybody who's been talking today, it's from the inside out, not the outside in. It's from whatever we have inside of us is what the world sees, and that light that you have that you can shine to change so many people's lives. And just going back to that for a second, you said something really powerful, how we can be able to show up in the world, and what we, the awareness and things like that. When we put our attention on something, what we focus on expands. Everybody here has heard that. I just got a very brief story about I've always wanted, as a geologist, I always wanted to travel to the Grand Canyon. And my husband and I actually went on a trip to Las Vegas, and they, first time we were there, we couldn't go on a helicopter ride to the Grand Canyon. Second time, Anyways, we got to go and landed at the bottom of the Grand Canyon where the Colorado River runs through. The first thing I heard, I want to really hone in on an intuition and our intuition and how important that is and how it's connected to our heart in such a big way with awareness. We landed on the base and we only had, I think, 20 minutes to eat lunch, look around, do what we wanted. The second we landed at the bottom, when you got to see the river, I heard you need to take back a souvenir for your 4 kids. And I thought, I'm looking around, okay, what am I supposed to bring back? We're at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. There's really nothing that kids are going to want. And all of a sudden it's interesting because I heard God speaking to me saying, look down, you're going to see 4 rocks that are in the shape of a heart. And there's nothing better than love that we can bring to the ones that we care for most. And, I actually have them here and I'd like to show it to everybody because yes. I just thought it was one of the most amazing things. I got chills as I'm saying this to you because I literally looked down and 4 almost perfectly shaped heart rocks were in the bottom, like literally almost right at my feet. Oh. And I want to show these to everybody here. And I just want to show you, this is a true testimony. When you hear things, to really trust your intuition, really know you're not making it up, it's real. And these are the things, like these little things in our life, saying thank you to somebody, opening a door, extending gratitude, giving somebody a hug, whatever that looks like in your life. These are the things that matter most. And my kids, I've never seen a greater smile on their faces than when I walk back with these rocks. So I want to show you. And they're not like perfect rocks. I don't know if you can see, where's the camera here?
Oh, there we go.
So there's one of the rocks. So you can see it's literally in the shape of a heart. And I have 4 of them. Like literally, this is the one for my baby. It was a baby heart-shaped rock that I found, and they're all of different shapes, different shapes of hearts.
Wow!
But every single one of them is in the shape of almost a perfect heart, and within a radius of about 2 feet at the bottom of my feet where I was standing at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Wow. So know that anything is possible. Expect the unexpected in life. Follow your heart. Continue to take those steps forward. Whether you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a CEO of an organization, doesn't matter. You are all leaders. You all have the ability to impact lives, to change lives from the inside out, from our heart first. And it is one of the most powerful things that we can give ourselves, our others, for the people, the young generation of our future who will be leading. Can you imagine what right now, I think it's the Generation Y and Generation Z, how right now, how important an organization it is for them to know that those organizations have a cause that they're giving to. And if there isn't, there's been studies done, and I have many, many facts and figures and various things I can show you on all of that about how, if that's not there, these people will not stay in those organizations. So for any of you who run organizations, make sure that you have a cause, make sure that there's something they can give to, not only monetary, but even their time, because there's something they can volunteer 5 or 10 hours with their heart. That's something that's near and dear to them. Like maybe they had, for me, I lost my dad to suicide. So I donate a lot of my time to helping bring awareness around suicide. Something that's maybe meaningful to them, and maybe allowing them the choice to choose, which creates creativity and innovation and growth and increased, so much more potential in the organization down to the bottom line. I think the percentage is like 20 some percent increased profitability when you have employees who are engaged and who are happy and feel like they're loved and cared for in the organization. So again, there's numerous benefits. Love is literally the greatest gift of all that we can give to anybody, no matter what age we are.
Oh, I love you. Can you really, guys, all of you in the Zoom room right now, just let's put some emotions up there. This is awesome, because all that we're talking about today is how we show up in the world and how we can change our beliefs. And I think one of the chats here, change our mindset, change our life. And that is just, it's so true. And I think a lot of people say, and I'll just share this because a lot of people say on chats, what do you want to do on groups in Facebook, right? So what do you want to be? What did you always want to be in your life? And what did you want to do? And that's your purpose. And I've always put, since I was a little girl, I just wanted to be loved. I just want to be loved. I want to feel that. So when you give that energy, you want to feel that in return. And that's what's most important. And I think that's what's led me to things like this, because I love celebrating, lifting people that also believe that. Yeah. And so, sometimes we define ourselves by, like Ryan said, a job, and actually our character. And we can take our character with us no matter where we go, no matter what we do. And it's what people really start to identify with, right? And we attract what we give. And Nadene, I love you. This has just been so inspirational. I just appreciate this. Let me take a look here at Anza's notes. If there's anything that, yes, expect the unexpected. Yeah, that was from my mom. Expect the unexpected. So thank you for giving us this gift today of sharing your heart. And I want to invite people. I know we have a poll here. If you have answered it, if Anza put it up here on Zoom, but if you want to connect to more love in your life, if you're ready to take those steps, you guys, if you have not been on this journey, if you are searching for something just of to keep you at peace in your heart, join us in the VIP room, get the workbook, really study into this, go to Nadine's site, get her book, Love Is. It's amazing. It's amazing. It really made me think about so many things that I was doing and how I could do them more impactful. And so it's just, it's my testimonial to her today, because it really does make a difference. And she put a lot of work into this, and it talks from every different perspective, no matter if you're a mom, you're single, you don't have to be married. Like, you could run a career on your own. You could run a, $19 million company. Like, you need to have this book. It will transform who you are. So Nadene, thank you for joining us today. And I really appreciate your time here.
Thank you so much, Melody. And I love you too. And I'm very grateful for you and the opportunity to be here today. And I just wish everybody who is here, just wish them all the best and my love to each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Remember, in the chat, you can connect to Nadene. If you have questions, please put those in the chat. We will get those to her. If she is in the Zoom room with you, come to the VIP and you can also get your questions answered. In your workbook, you can write your question. Nadene, I want to know more about this. So write that down in your notebook, and then also please put that in the chat. We would love to help you through anything that you are questioning about having more love in your life. All right. Thank you, Nadene. And we are going to our next